Oh, welcome back to the 14A Sports Radio Show.
Yeah. Dynamite.
That's not a brewing sound. All right, so our guest right now at the table is Andrew Brown, who is a member of the 902 Brewing Company out of Hoboken, New Jersey. They are in their second year of operation. Welcome to the program.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
What's up, brother? How's it going
here?
At 902, you just want to throw the 1-0 on the end.
we hear that all
Brandon
the time.
Walsh.
Especially for the ladies. A lot of people do. Yeah, they ask us about that all the time. They're like, you guys must be huge fans of Beverly Hills. Like, wow.
You want to, obviously throw the background out for that. Real quick.
So 902, that derived from 902 Washington Street, where two of my partners, Colby and Tucker, they were living there right after college.
In Hoboken?
In Hoboken, 902 Washington Street. And, it's basically an homage to the, we're paying tribute to the place where it started, 902 Washington Street. So we kept the name and taking it from 902, into Hoboken.
That's
nice,
awesome.
Nice.
So you want to talk about the foundations. Did this just get started as a hobby? Did you think you were going to make a company where you're like, all right, I'm sick of Miller Lights. I want to do something interesting. I'm bored. I don't have a girlfriend. How do we all go about this?
All the above. All the above. But mainly because we're sick of Miller Lite. We're sick of the 30-pack that I'm looking at in the corner over there.
Hey.
Oh, is that blasphemy around here?
I said that to Walsh. I said, I'd love to have this kid on, no doubt, but he better. I hate beer snobs. Let me tell you that.
Well, you
I
can
can't
see I'm a beer
stand
snob
them.
because I brought our beer so we could all drink it tonight. Did you not see
And
the
it's
other
very
3 beers I
delicious.
brought as well?
Very
That's a beer snob who shows up to a party with a 30-pack of Miller and brings his Sierra Nevada and Harpoon IPA.
You know what?
You're damn right.
Listen, to each their own. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But don't knock me because I'm drinking Miller Lite.
See, that's the funny part. I don't look down on you, but you guys are the beer snobs.
Because I know so many people are like, oh, you ordered Miller Lite.
Hey.
I was like, well, you like fat girls. Well, everybody likes different shit. What do you want me to tell you?
Hey, she's a 10 at 2 and a 2 at 10. We all know how that goes.
Well, I get a 10. He's got 5 twos.
But, it started in college. Tucker and Colby met at the University of Delaware, Fighting Blue Hens.
Oh.
Joe Flacco.
All right.
Joey.
All right.
Johnny G's.
Rich Gannon, too. Don't forget about Richie Gannon.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
back in the day.
Yeah, well, the Bucs showed him what was up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But they met there, literally started in their dorm room. They started experimenting with homebrew, and it's gotten to the point. So there's the two of them that really started. I met up with them about 3 years ago, became good friends, and, just literally just a love of good beers and wanted to drink good beers and trying to convert people from, picking up that 30-pack and saying, you know what, I can have 6 beers, some really good, some really good tasty beer and take it from there. So
Listen, just like when the who are those guys that come to the doors with the ties?
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's. Just like they try to convert me at the door. I'm not converting. I'm Irish Catholic and I drink Miller Lights.
Well, I've tasted a couple sips and I'm
yeah.
definitely interested.
Very
It's,
good. Very good.
So
So-
this is my first sip.
okay, so this is our black IPA. This is our flagship beer, the Black Dynamite. Now, most people, especially IPAs, it stands for India Pale Ale.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so really what you're expecting is a lighter beer. A black IPA, it's an oxymoron in and of itself.
Okay.
But what you're going to get here is some chocolate on the end. You're going to get
Feel
some.
that?
Yep. You're going to get some. Basically, it's going to balance the hoppiness and the bitterness. With
Oh,
a nice,
I love it.
With a nice
Beer snob
sweet-
talk.
Now,
With a nice sweet aftertaste.
now with
No,
the
that's
craft,
awesome.
now with the craft beer, are we doing it like the wine, like the?
Oh, get your nose in there. Get your nose in there.
Oh, that's
No,
good
honestly,
stuff.
and we say the same thing. Look, if you enjoy certain beer, if you enjoy the Miller Lite, all the power to you. Enjoy it. Have fun. But, try some other stuff. I hate sours personally. One of my partners is a huge sour head. Loves sour beers. I can't stand it, but you know
I
what?
don't know if
It's
I've
the
ever
new
had a
wave.
sour beer.
Yeah.
Like Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
Sour watermelons. That's where it's at.
Right.
Exactly. But even
I
with
don't
IPAs,
even know what sours are.
people hate IPAs because they're too bitter. So what we did is we came out with an IPA that has that bitterness, has that hoppiness, but at the same time it's balanced, nice and sweet at the end to kind of counter that.
So now, how did you come about start choosing what flavors you liked, or start because I would have no idea how
Right.
to start making a beer.
Great question.
How do you know
Go through the process of it.
you got to I'm gonna make this
That's why
rot
we let
stout.
him on
How
the
do I know
show.
what to get or
Yeah, how do
Yeah.
you? Well, basically, there's all different kinds of styles. Like we said, we touched upon IPAs, sours, stouts. You've heard of all the different styles. Basically, you just kind of start out. experimenting. Sometimes it goes with cloning. You might, if you like a Sam Adams Oktoberfest, you try and clone that recipe. You try and do that.
And you do something different.
Right. So right now we've got 3 to 5 recipes that we think are pretty much hammered down. We tweak them with different hops, sometimes maybe a little bit of a different yeast strain, something like that. I mean, not to get too technical, and we're not going to get into that right now, but basically you experiment, you see what works, you see what people like, and some people are like, oh, this is good. People just giving you feedback. Oh, the mouth feel isn't there, the smell's not there, whatever it may be, and you tweak the recipes and go.
I used to date this girl who said that all the time. Pop-pow! Pop-pow!
Nice.
So, like, as you're going through the process of brewing your own beer, like, you're obviously tasting it. Like, do you get banged up doing this, or is it?
Oh well,
Because I want it.
Yeah, I might get into it.
I brought 2 growlers for you. This beer's about 7%. So
This is
Oh,
good.
yeah.
you
This
guys,
is very good
yeah.
stuff.
So what you guys are drinking right there is, I guess, about 4.2% for the
Right.
most part. So again, the same thing. I have a friend who's a Miller Lite devotee, like loves Miller Lite, won't drink anything else. He drank a couple of our beers. He had like 3 or 4, and he's like, "Why am I so shit-faced right now?"
Yeah.
No. I mean, the Miller Lights.
Because the ABV is higher.
Yeah, all the lights aren't. They're not knocking you off your socks after a
Right.
couple.
Yeah.
But we session beers are another thing. We try and make some other beers where people can have a few, 6-pack and not be, falling down the stairs. So we do that also.
Right.
Now, let me ask you something. With the craft beers, I know that they tend to be more expensive than, your Miller Lite 6-pack. So, how do you appeal to the guy only maybe making a couple bucks a week, something like that?
Like Walsh, he's asking
Right.
for himself.
Well, we're actually going to accept food stamps. So,
all right,
you're welcome
We
anytime you
have-
want to come.
Actually, the first of the month is our biggest.
We'll have a brick of government cheese as well.
the
so you can,
Government
you can eat
beer.
also.
That'd be
We
awesome.
accept the EBT.
But I guess I would more question like, so I mean, as you guys start getting your name out there, I mean, like, what's your kind of promotion plan? Like, are you gonna try to go through bars, kind of selling through liquor stores, kind of doing tastings at places? Or
Yeah.
what's your kind of marketing plan?
That's kind of where we're at right now. Is you hear of the major distributors in the area, Hunterdon, Allied. There's beverage companies that will get you into bars, will get you shelf space.
Mhm.
Right now, our business plan is just kegs. We're just going to be kegging. So either you can get our beer at our location or at one of the bars. Right now, we're going to do super local, so it's just going to be Hoboken.
Okay.
And we're going to self-distribute.
Well, that's a good place to start, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
I mean-
plenty of people drinking beer. So.
Yeah, and hopefully, again, self-distribution means, we're using our own car, our own van to get it out there. So hopefully, Hudson County in maybe 2 or 3 years, but right now it's going to be super, super local.
What are you in any bars in Hoboken right now?
We are not, because we are not licensed, so we are not able to sell beer at all.
right.
So what we do is we've been doing promotional events, where we get press coverage, or we get basically on an email list of a certain bar. So we've been on tap at a couple of different bars just promotionally. They can't sell it, we can't sell it, but give out some tchotchkes and whatever else.
How far are you away from getting that licensing?
Basically, this year, Christie signed into law, making it much easier,
All
much
right,
more
let's
advantageous.
go easy with that. Man.
Not trying to name drop here. Just saying that the law in Jersey made it much
Yeah,
more
no.
advantageous for brewers if you
Good.
look it up in January. And I mean, we're still talking about a year from now.
Okay.
Number one thing is signing a lease for space, and from there, then we can start applying for permits. You got to go through ABC, federal.
Oh,
state,
wow.
all that,
So
yeah.
let me ask you this: how difficult is the process? So obviously you're doing a home brewery, right? So when you do a home brew, like how quantity? What are we talking?
Right now, we're
No,
yielding.
like when you start.
Oh, you mean if we
Yeah.
open the brewery?
My question is how difficult is it to go from like your home brew to put in a keg, and then well, I assume once you get
it's
in a
all
keg,
scale.
it's mass produced. It's
Right. It's all
pretty
all
easy.
scale. So right now,
But is that process difficult from going from home brew to a keg?
absolutely, and that's why a lot of people
Yeah.
don't take that step.
Right. That's what I'd imagine.
They don't take that step because we can yield about 20 to 30 gallons right now.
Okay.
Which is between 4 and 6 kegs,
Right.
sixtels, not even the full kegs that you guys are thinking like.
Okay, like the skinny.
When you
Yeah,
guys
tall
were
ones.
Pony.
when you were making the pledges.
When
take
I was
those kegs-
hazing, motherfuckers.
yeah, you're thinking the full barrel
Yeah.
kegs. We're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
sixtels.
The empty ones were also weapons, too.
They're also worth $10 that I utilize sometimes.
Nice.
Exactly. So getting to that stage, yeah, it's difficult. But again, with the recipes, it's all about scaling up. I can make a gallon with these growlers that I
Right.
brought, or I could take that same recipe, you scale it up. You can make up to 15, 30 barrels, whatever you want. Whatever you
Right,
want to do.
right. And you kind of got into it, but the distribution's got to be the hardest part, right? Once you get the license?
Once you have the license, once you have the space, yeah, because you have to keep up with, supply and demand. Right. It's like any business. There's over 50 bars in Hoboken. If everybody wants us to have us on tap, we're going to need more space, day one. But that's a good problem to have.
I was going to say, easy, fella.
Now,
go big or go home.
Yeah, I like it.
Now, you guys, like you said, you've been doing a lot of promotional things and stuff like that. How have the testing's been going? Any awards so far at any of these shows?
Yeah, we've actually gotten quite a few awards. We've won a few competitions. Awesome. Big one for us was in Brooklyn about a year and a half ago. It's called the Brooklyn Wort Festival, WORT. And we went in there. We not only won the People's Choice, but we won the Judges' Choice.
Nice.
Clean sweep!
Yeah, and especially a bunch of Jersey boys going to Brooklyn with all these sisters. They were like,
skinny
so
jeans
pissed.
and super glasses, right?
They couldn't believe it, because they've been crafting their beers too. And they've got, there's a great beer scene in Brooklyn. I'm not knocking that, but they couldn't believe it. And it just goes to show you, and even in Hoboken, if I'm at a bar and people have been to one of our events, they'll see me and they'll be like, "Oh man, I've had your beer. Like, it's great. When are you guys opening?" And it's like,
"No, it's good. I mean,
I wish I could sell you something. I wish I could sell you something."
And I was gonna ask, how long does the process take of basically when you start brewing a batch to ferment, getting to actual product that you can serve it?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and that's why space is our biggest issue right now, because you constantly have to be having beer that's able to be served, that you can serve. Then you have to be fermenting, which can take anywhere from 2 weeks to. Some are aged for years. I mean, for the most part, our recipes are between from brew day to serving is between 2 and 5 weeks for most of our recipes.
And now, is it still like a hit and miss thing? Like, do you ever have batches where you're just like, "Oh, this is not good," or is it like
we had an emergency session last night
Yeah.
because
Really?
we had a batch that we're going to be on tap at Cork City the Monday before Thanksgiving, November 25th, in Hoboken, and some pale ale that we're supposed to have there. That's right. The pale ale that we were supposed to have ready for that just didn't come out right, so we had to dump it. And that kills you because that took 6, 7, 8 hours.
Never mind all the product that you threw into it too.
Right? Yeah. I mean that's there, but it's the hours. It's the time you can't get back.
We should work something out where that could be our.
Give me free beer.
That could be our. That could be our NFL Pick'em chug beer that we use.
Yeah, no.
Hey, you don't want it to go to waste.
I think 902 Brewing should be the official brewing company of 14A Sports.
That's true.
I mean, I think it's just
hands
down.
You guys can drink all our swill. Anything that's going down the drain,
I don't know
we'll
what
drop
swill
it off.
is, but
And
that
I'll love
don't
every
sound
swill of it. I love every swig of a swill.
Perfect.
But
Get
yeah,
on
no,
top.
This was very good.
Yeah,
It's
that's
gone.
solid.
For a Miller Lite guy, you drain that pretty quick.
Well,
I think I brought 2 growlers.
You know why I drink Miller Lite? So I can drink a lot of it.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's another thing for us Irish guys, We you can't be talking to a broad just standing there without a beer in your hand. No, you gotta be
No, in all honesty, like you go to a tailgate, right? This is not a tailgate beer.
You're not going to play beer pong with this beer.
No.
No, this is not, and that's not how we're going to promote it either.
I'm not going to sit around have 3
you want to have
beers.
you want to have 3 beers on a Thursday night and then make it to work the next day and have 3 quality beers. I can see this being solid.
No, definitely.
It's absolutely delicious.
It's a sipping beer. Thank you.
I really like
It's
it.
a good date beer.
Do you guys even know where IPA comes from?
India?
I'm kidding.
Feathers, not dots.
No, the other way.
Dots, not feathers.
I win.
We do have Incognito on the board tonight. Incognito is in the house.
Goodwill Hunting. Dots, not feathers.
But yeah, that's where it comes from. The British were shipping all this beer over to India, the colonies, and it was going
You
bad.
mind if I refill?
No, keep going.
All right.
So they
pass
started
that
to add
down.
a shit ton of hops to the beer to keep it from going stale and from turning, and that's where they got it. And they were drinking it over there in the colonies, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is great," and we're getting shit faced.
Huh.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. So now we mellowed out.
What other events? Do you have? You mentioned
we got another event this Saturday at the Elks Club in Hoboken, the Liberty Humane Society. Anybody that wants to come adopt a kitten or a puppy or a dog.
What time is that from?
And drink some good beer from 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock, 11th or 10th in Washington.
I'm
Hoboken.
away this weekend. Damn.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. $30, all you can eat, all you can drink, and our beer will be there as well. The Black Dynamite. The Black Dynamite will be on tap.
So this is your go-to. This is
our
when you
flagship.
do the promos.
Absolutely. Again, our other 4 beers that we have that we pretty much have the recipes down. We do love those beers, and they're great beers. They're good examples of the styles. But this is definitely our bread and butter.
Yeah.
The Black Dynamite. Yep.
Now, how often do you drink it yourself?
To be honest, not as much as I'd like, because when we do put out a batch,
you want to push it. You don't want to
push it.
Don't worry,
Exactly.
we will.
No, that's what I'm saying. I love sharing it. And we love getting feedback. We enter competitions not just to win awards, but to get feedback from judges. Again, like you guys were joking about putting your nose in there and tasting it in the back.
They do all that stuff.
Yeah,
no,
they
that
give
was
you
for real.
feedback. They give you feedback about what might be off, or what tastes good, what's what you should try a little bit differently. So
Let me ask you now: when you go to one of these taste testings, do you have the assholes out there that are like, "Oh, this beer sucks,"
you guys think I'm a snob. You guys should go to some of these events.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. You guys would have a field day. You guys would have material. You guys would have material forever.
Let's go.
They're good people, but they're hardcore.
Breaking
Worthington.
empty Miller Lite boxes on top of people's heads, like
Worthington.
WWF style.
If you wore a Miller Lite T-shirt, they'd probably kick you out. They would kick you out.
We should.
And then what's the Cork City event? Where is Cork City?
Cork City's used to be Duffy's on 3rd and Bloomfield in Hoboken.
Oh, okay.
It's
all right. I haven't been there yet, actually.
Oh,
I haven't
it's
been
great.
to-
It's a great
That's
beer.
fairly new, right?
About 2 years
2
ago,
years,
he took
okay.
over Duffy's. So Duffy's was there for a while, but he took over Duffy's. Basically, really didn't change anything. Kept all the staff. Kept the feel of the place. Kept Dart League's there every Tuesday night. Great,
yeah.
great
Dart
beer.
League.
25 beers on tap.
I
So
remember
it's
that
always
place,
changing.
all right.
It's
I would
great.
get my
Right on
ass
the corner
kicked in
there.
Dart
It's on the
League.
corner.
Right on the
Yeah,
corner.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
right around from McDonald's.
Yeah,
I watched.
yeah.
Remember the? I guess it was 07, the Joba Indian game with the midgets. The midge.
Oh,
the
yeah,
midge
yeah,
game,
yeah, the
when he had
bugs.
all the flies on his
Oh,
face.
yes.
Yeah, in Cleveland, I watched that game there.
I spent a week there one St. Patty's Day for Hoboken.
Whole week. There you go.
Set up a tent and everything.
Oh yeah,
That was
it was
wild.
it was a
It was
long one.
Duffy's.
Yeah, no, it was back
Cork
in the
City,
day.
11/25, the Monday before Thanksgiving. So anybody that's not leaving town, stop by.
Oh, definitely. No, I think we'll have to make a 14 Sports
Yeah,
road trip.
we're gonna have to do a lot of things. That it's one of the reasons why we want you to hang out here after the show tonight. But getting more back into your business. I know you guys are launching a Kickstarter campaign. You guys just actually started that recently,
Yep,
right?
this past Saturday.
How's that going?
It's going great. We've actually in the first 4 days, we've got a lot of momentum. Which we thought we'd raise some money, but we got a pretty nice number already. We set the goal at 35,000 over 60 days, and right now it looks like it's probably attainable. I think we can
Really?
definitely hit
That's
that
awesome.
number.
That's great.
And
Nice.
then we have private investors as well.
Cool.
So that's additional funds that we're going to put towards mostly the rent. As much as we love Hoboken and we've all lived there for between 5 and 10 years, obviously the rent is crazy.
Yeah.
So and you have retail space on the bottom floor. You're not going to catch a break anywhere in town anymore.
No, absolutely.
So that's we love Hoboken. We're psyched to open there, but that if there's one drawback, that would definitely be it. Is that's a
tough,
big
yeah.
overhead. So that's why we're trying to raise money. And even tonight, I saw a couple people that are just like, "Hey, 902, like, love what you're doing. Good luck. Hope you get
Yeah.
there." And
Yeah, no, hey. If you love what they're doing, support them.
exactly.
You wear those 902 shirts all over the place.
I wear it to work with
Yeah.
under my suit. Yes, under my suit I wear.
I
it
honestly,
that way.
I have a couple throwback 90210 shirts. So I'm gonna
Start
get some
crossing
tape.
the tent off.
Yeah, we'll get rid of those, and then that's it. We got a new marketing strategy.
Perfect.
And you
That's
guys
right.
are.
You know how I know you're
We're
gay?
throwbacks. You just admitted that on air.
Talking about my bitch strips.
No, that one guy married
big
Megan
strips.
Fox.
Oh,
Brian Austin Green.
Oh yeah.
He married Megan
Well,
Fox.
good for
So
him. Now with the
Right.
now with the Kickstarter, what do you feel is maybe your biggest obstacle and all that?
Biggest obstacle with the Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Just pretty much for the most part, with Kickstarter, you can't offer free alcohol.
Yeah.
So so if somebody donates $200, we can't say you'll get 2 kegs. Come by and pick up your 2 free kegs. Once we're up and running,
Yeah.
You gotta say
That's
2
the-
free T-shirts.
you get the
Come-
nicest hoodie you'll ever see. No, I mean, but we have. If you go to our Kickstarter page, we have some pretty cool things, some pretty cool incentives for people. Our max is $5,000. I mean. And if somebody wants to donate $5,000, I encourage them to get
Yeah,
it right
Oh, yeah.
now.
definitely.
Sign up right now.
What kind of incentives do you have?
We've got all kinds of stuff like hoodies. We're gonna have bar stools where you can have your name engraved on the bar
that's
stool.
awesome.
We're gonna have membership, rewards programs and memberships to the brew pub. So we've got some cool stuff.
Awesome.
there.
let me ask you this: Is there any long term? I know you got your hands full. Do you want to open a bar?
No, that's our goal is to have a tasting room. It's gonna be brewing in Hoboken with a tasting
Like
room.
you
So-
do like a tour and
And-
Right, so let's say
Yeah,
it's a
see.
room maybe this size, let's say 300 square feet or something like that, where there's 6 stools and, people can come in, fill up their growlers. Instead of going to Cork City and getting on tap, you can come fill up 5 growlers. You're having people over.
I actually was
have a few
talking
beers.
with one of my buddies earlier, telling him that we're going to have you on the show today. And, I was telling him, because I've seen this a lot in, like, D.C., the Virginia area, like when I used to live there. But, these places are really cool, and, you basically have those big tanks, like, behind the bar.
Yep.
People can see it, and then they come in
New
there.
Brunswick has
Harvest
a couple,
Moon.
right?
Yeah,
One of those places, right?
There's a whole bunch. And Jersey, like I said, especially starting this year because of the way that the law was signed and the way that obtaining the brewer's license
It made it
isn't like
easier
it made
or
it
cheaper?
easier. Well, both, because basically you have to pay into whatever you're producing. So if you're producing 100 barrels a year, it's going to cost you a lot less with the state than it would if you're producing 100,000 barrels.
Oh, so it's
Okay.
scaled. So the license is scaled.
Absolutely.
That's why.
And you don't have to get a liquor license. It used to be you had to have a liquor license to serve any kind of booze.
They're a lot of
And
money.
now you can have a license just to brew your own beer, and like I said, have a tasting room, be able to fill growlers for people, and send them on their way.
That's awesome, man.
Great.
That
And
is.
now, do you have like Facebook too? I know I asked you about Twitter.
Yep,
You're
we're
on Twitter.
We're on
902
Facebook.
Brewing.
We're revamping the website as we speak, and Twitter at 902 Brewing. That's the most current way to stay up to date.
Yeah, is that the best? What's the best? way
Yeah,
to follow
Twitter's
you guys?
definitely the best. I mean, we have, the Facebook is there too, but if people want to hear about how to get tickets for Saturday's event at the Elks Lodge, at 902 Brewing on Twitter is definitely the best way.
Okay. Yeah.
All
Definitely
right,
the best way.
and real quick, I know you said this is your go-to to Black Dynamite, and that's a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Dynamite.
And so you had 4 other ones, right? What are they?
Yes. We've got the Inconsiderate Dog Stout.
Down!
WG!
They gonna love that down in
DAWG.
Georgia.
Triple dub?
Triple Dog.
Triple dub?
Triple Dog.
They gonna love that down in Georgia.
There's a good story behind that one too.
You can tell it.
I got all the time in the world according to him.
We got the internet working, the cameras
Go
working.
ahead,
We got
tell
it
the
all
story.
working.
My partner Colby, he's got Zoe.
You got more of these, right?
Oh yeah, we got plenty.
All right, then you had
Got
plenty of time. Quid pro quo, bitch!
He's got this mutt. She's awesome, but she's half Rottweiler and half just doesn't give a shit about anything anybody says but Colby.
I can make
And
an
she
interesting
will
joke
eat
off
your-
that, but I'll pass.
There you go. She will eat your cheesesteak. She will eat your gum off the floor, anything. And one of his roommates was like, he was from the South, and he was just like, that dog is so inconsiderate. That dog.
I like
Dogs
that.
are the
I like
inconsiderate
that.
dog
So
stout came
it's
from.
the drawn out, the
the
southern
dog.
drawl.
Southern
dog.
Got it.
Inconsiderate dog.
And
Then we've got the.
Shout out to my Southerners.
There you go. That's right. I forgot you're south of Mason Dixon.
A
Represent.
couple of years.
he's from Bayonne. What are we talking about?
Listen, I still know people there.
Congratulations.
We're not talking about my inconsiderate dog.
All right,
Inconsiderate
what
dog.
else?
Then we got it. We got our pale ale, which is we're calling it the Path Pale Ale Trans Hudson.
Nice.
All right.
I like that.
And it's that's another one of that's our training wheels beer. I mean, it's good beer. It's a good pale ale.
Explain what you mean by that.
By training wheels, it means somebody like you.
I know
who's
what
used to
training
drinking your
Somebody like
Somebody
you.
like
I can ride a two-wheeler.
who's drinking their 4.2%. This is only about 6.5%. So it's like our lightest ABV beer. So you can drink a few of them. We'll call it our session beer.
I
So
can
now
drink a few of
that's
these.
There
a
you go.
lighter
Oh, yeah.
version
We'll
of
see what
That's-
the
happens.
Black Dynamite.
No, it's a different recipe. It's
But they're both IPAs, though.
no.
Pale ale.
is different from.
I always mix those up.
So
the pale
basically,
ale
what they
and
were
IPA.
when I was talking about England sending them over, they were pale ales, but they were turning. They were
Yeah.
getting rotten. They
Yeah,
couldn't
right, I
drink
gotcha.
them. They added a ridiculous amount of hops to them, so they would preserve them.
And that's how you get
and
the
that's how
IPA.
you got IPA. Right.
And then
That's
what's the fourth one? Yeah.
that's the right Inconsiderate Dog, the Path, and we've got a spice right now, a spice porter right now, which is pretty good. You guys would enjoy that.
So is that
one.
like a Guinness with a little kick?
Yeah,
Kind of something along those
I-
lines.
we got.
I'm not spicy.
You're not a spicy one.
I like the food spicy,
yeah.
but
I'm
Yeah.
interested in the.
I know
product.
I was talking to you off air where you had the peanut butter one that you said you guys were testing. I need to try that. I love peanut butter. It's amazing.
Like I said, our biggest problem is space and location right now. If we had the space, if we had the tanks, we could make all those.
That's
But
awesome.
We gotta go with our bread and butter right
Yeah,
now.
so I guess to build on that, I mean, I guess you guys are always just testing out different stuff,
Trying
trying
new
to
stuff, yeah.
just see
Trying
what
trying
works,
stuff
doesn't
with
work.
chilies in the porter to make it a little bit
Oh,
spicier.
baby.
Pumpkin spice, we've got a pumpkin spice which we're gonna put out
lot of
probably the
people
next
like
like
pumpkin.
month.
Yeah.
I like the pumpkin
Pumpkins
beer.
are taking
It's
over the world.
Yeah.
I think one year for Halloween, I might get a couple
I-
pumpkin beers, throw them out there.
Am I the only
Not
one
for
that
the
doesn't
kids.
like pumpkin beer? I don't like it at all.
I've got one for you. Go for the Southern Tier Pumpkin.
Oh yeah, I had that. That was good.
I've
It's
seen
delicious.
it. I
From
never
upstate
drank
New
it.
York,
but-
small microbrew also.
It's
Great
not
beer.
as doesn't have as much kick as like
Southern
the
Tier Pumpkin.
The pumpkin.
Look at that. Look at that. I'm even helping out other brewers.
No, it's nice. You do like a little. Like,
You know what? You put it in one of these. You bring it to my table. I might take a sip. There's no way I'm buying it. I don't like pumpkin.
See, this is what we're talking about. Conversions.
You drop a little
We're going to
Bailey's.
convert people like that.
Oh man,
We're
the
gonna have
Church
to
of
get-
Latter-day Saints.
We're
They
gonna
can take a page out of your book.
We're going
Hey,
to
if
have to get you the pale ale.
If
We're gonna
they
have to
gave
get
me
you the pale ale.
free beer at the Church of Latter-day Saints, I'd be a little.
We voted for Romney. We would have voted for Romney a long
I
time
might even
ago.
put a suit on. Shit.
Yeah.
Good Lord. All right, Andrew, we thank you for coming on
Hey,
tonight.
thanks, guys.
Let me ask, you want to come on for the NFL Pick 'em Chug segment?
Dude, if there's one sport I do know, it's an NFL.
Yeah?
I
Who's
can-
your
man.
team?
All right.
Well, that's funny. I was talking with the ladies before. I grew up a diehard John Elway fan in the 80s and 90s.
The Broncos.
So I'm a huge Broncos fan, but here's where you guys are going to be like, oh, my God. I'm a giant season ticket holder.
Oh, all right.
So you can
am I.
imagine how
They're both
torn I
Giants
was with the
fans.
Manning Bowl
Oh,
on
yeah.
September 15th.
Wow.
But yeah,
But
so I would say it's
you
it's
got yourself an NFC and an AFC team.
it is, but people give me shit all the time,
I
and,
like
and
it.
rightfully
Yeah,
so.
I agree. You can only have one team.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna say that. As soon as I open my mouth,
You
that's what
can.
he's gonna say.
You can only have one team.
yeah.
I agree.
All right, so let's go to a break right now. We'll do the Coles News Network, and then after that, we'll come back with you for the NFL picks.
Sweet, looking forward to it.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
awesome. All right, so again, that's 902brewing.com. Check them out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media sites. Look out for these guys in Hoboken if you see them. And Saturday again, that's
No
Saturday
joke.
at the Elks Lodge, 1 o'clock.
definitely be
No
there.
joke.
We'll
Solid
we'll
stuff.
post that stuff on our website and on the Twitter as well. But we're gonna get to a video right now. When we get back, it is time for the Coles News Networks. Hopefully, everybody has their penises attached this week, but
Probably not.
I'm down.
Somebody got a detached penis somewhere in the world.
I wasn't told
Somebody.
I needed to do that.
not in house, not in house. All right, this is for today. This is for today's Sports 15 Minutes of Fame Radio. We'll be right back.